Howdy folks, and welcome back to War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. What's going on here, Jingles? That was the aircraft intro. That's a funny looking aircraft, you're right. Yes, that's a Centurion. Well, it kind of is and it kind of isn't. I mean, it is a Centurion, but it's the Swedish version of the Centurion, the S-101. It's being driven for us by, well, we're going to call him Dave, because his name's PR_WT, and I'm not repeating that more than once. So, why the War Thunder aircraft intro? Well, this is a short clip before we get to the main event, but there is actually going to be an air kill. Completely unintentional. Observe as Dave sneaks up on the IS-2. Observe as I slow things down, thinking Dave was going to fire there. There it is, but he missed. Except while he missed the IS-2, the shell's a physical object and it has to hit something, and when it does, it ricochets. And then it shoots down a PE-2. Yes. Don't know where the PE-2 was. Must have been some distance away because it took a while for the shot to get there and the kill to register, but a kill was in fact gained. He gets the IS-2 on his second attempt, but that's his second kill of the game. In fact, he didn't even realise he'd shot down the PE-2 until... Hang on, where did that air kill come from? Oh, War Thunder. You so silly. So, anyway, moving on swiftly, and to the reason why you saw the War Thunder aircraft intro at the beginning of this video, it's the F-8 Crusader. A fantastic Cold War air superiority dogfighter. In fact, they called it the last of the gunfighters, because for a while it was. During the first half of the Vietnam War, the Vought F-8 Crusader, being flown for us today by Twitch Don Said TV, or perhaps that's Don Said, I don't know, we're just going to call him Don. The Vought F-8 Crusader being flown for us today by Don, amongst many A-10 Warthogs on his team, was responsible for more shot down MiGs than anything else in at least the first half of the Vietnam War, and there were some very good reasons for that. In no particular order, this thing was actually designed for dogfighting. The Crusader was a fighter. It wasn't an interceptor, it wasn't a bomber, it was a fighter. Unlike its chief competition, the F-4 Phantom, which was a very successful aircraft, but not really in the dogfighting role, at least not in the first half of the Vietnam War, until they realised they might want to put a gun on it, because that's one of the other reasons. The Crusader was armed with guns. The Phantom, or at least the early versions, was not. Because the US Air Force had vastly overestimated just how good air-to-air missiles were. Certainly the early versions of the Sidewinder were kind of crap. And Don here has just upgraded, for the first time, to the AIM-9D version of the Sidewinder, which is still not fantastic, but it's way better than the missiles of this aircraft. I mean, you just look at it, you can tell that this thing was never really designed to carry missiles. They're just kind of, oh, we got them. They might be quite good. Where are we going to put them? So they're just, look at that, yeah. This thing was never meant to be an interceptor. And yet, surprisingly, most of the Crusaders' kills in Vietnam were actually achieved with air-to-air missiles. But they got way more gun kills than the Phantoms did, mostly because the Phantoms didn't have guns, at least at first. And also because the Crusader pilots were trained in dogfighting. That was their job. The Phantom pilots were trained to intercept, because the Phantom was designed as an interceptor. It was just press-ganged into the fighter and fighter-bomber role. Marine pilots did not get a lot of MiG kills with their Crusaders, but that wasn't because the Marine pilots were any worse than the Navy pilots who flew this aircraft. It's because the Marine pilots' primary job is to support the grunts on the ground, so they went into battle on with rockets and bombs rather than air-to-air missiles. Oh, here we go. One A5 Vigilante, one Harrier. This is the first time Don has fired these AIM-9D Sidewinders in anger. They are, of course, fire and forget, so he fires them and promptly forgets about them, and is rewarded with his first 2 kills. Didn't even stop to watch, that's how confident he was. So 2 missiles fired, 2 kills, 2 missiles left, and of course he still has those guns. Although the guns on the Crusader weren't fantastic. As he latches onto the tail. Holy shit, is that a Tornado? What battle rating is this? Oh well. Tornado's focusing on somebody as Don latches onto his tail. He doesn't appear to be able to get a missile off because the Tornado launches his missiles against a teammate. Then definitely realises Don's here Pops his afterburner in an attempt to get away, but Don is way too close, way too fast. Drops his flares to prevent Don from getting the missile lock, but Don takes him out with the guns. Drops his own flares just in case somebody is on his tail. There's a J-35 coming in. It's not quite going to be a head-on pass. Oh, actually it is. Takes him out, and then boom! The wreck of the aircraft that he just shot down shears off one wing almost entirely and half of the other wing. Oh well, I guess that's it. Except not quite. His engine still works. Still has some wing. Missile away against the Su-25 Frogfoot. Actually, there's a couple of Su-25s out there. Oh no, it looks like the missile has missed. Guns, 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 he got him. Well, it was an assist. But there's another Su-25 down there. Now, I think he does still have one sidewinder left, but an AIM-9D is never going to shoot anybody down from the front. So, guns, guns, guns. Scratch another Frogfoot. And now we're done. Oh, that's not bad. I guess that's why they call it the last of the gunfighters. 1 kill and 1 assist. Technically, after he died. The only other game where you can do that is playing aircraft carriers in World of Warships. Speaking of World of Warships, I realise this is a very strange way to end a War Thunder video, but, well, Michael Palmer sent this screenshot in and it was just too bizarre to not feature. And it's not weird because he came top of his team in a Smolensk in a Tier 10 battle. I mean, that's not exactly unusual. Although it is kind of weird that he somehow managed to shoot down 31 Tier 10 carrier aircraft, and I'm fairly sure that there's a rule against that somewhere, so he can probably expect an account ban anytime soon. And if you look at the top of the leaderboard on the enemy team, you'll see a U-2501 submarine with 3 kills and 1,946 base XP, and that's not what's weird about it. What's weird is that if you look at the bottom of the leaderboard on Michael's team, you'll see another U-2501 with 1,937 XP less than the U-2501 in the enemy team. 9 experience. How do you even do that? I mean, I can understand 0 XP for basically AFKing the whole battle and never even spotting an enemy ship, but how do you get 9? He must have done something. But what is it that you can do in a game of World of Warships that's only worth 9 XP? Answers on a postcard, because frankly, I am completely out of ideas here. But thank you, Michael, for sending that extremely bizarre screenshot in. And thank you, of course, to Don and Dave for the previous 2 War Thunder clips. I hope you've enjoyed today's admittedly rather short video. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.